Welcome everyone to another episode of our Wisdom of the Heart video series. And today we have Cole back, and we're going to go a little bit deeper into what we covered last time. So let me just introduce Cole again. He's joining us, Cole Kňazovický from Byron Bay, Australia. So welcome again, Cole.
Thank you, Lynn. I'm so excited. I'm always am.
And these are episodes all based on topics in A Course of Love. And I'm just going to hold this up real quick here so you can see this is A Course of Love, and it's the second edition. And so last time we left off on paragraph 1, chapter 1, the very first sentence. So we're just going to read that paragraph so you can get the full gist of it. And then we're going to go into chapter 2 and read the first paragraph, what love is. So Cole?
Okay, I'll begin then. A Course of Love, chapter 1. Every living being has a heart. Let us define heart as a center of being, that place from which all feeling arises. All true feeling is love. All love praises God. All love is recognition of the glory of God and all God created. Love is the only pure response of the created for the Creator, the only response of the Creator to the created. Your recognition of what love is will return you to God and yourself, capital S. And so shall I go straight on to chapter 2? It says, what love is. What love is cannot be taught. It cannot be learned, but it can be recognized. Can you pass love by and not know that it is there? Oh yes, you do it constantly by choosing to see illusion rather than the truth. You cannot be taught love, but you can be taught to see love where it already exists. The body's eyes, not the eyes with which love can be recognized. Christ's vision is, for only Christ's vision beholds the face of God.
Thank you, Cole.
Oh, that just leaves me speechless.
Yeah, there's a lot here, and I thought maybe, the last paragraph before this that you read from chapter 1, it says that love is the only true response, and it's the recognition of what will return you to God and to your true self. And then here it's saying that love cannot be taught, it cannot be learned, but it can be recognized. And it's not the body's eyes, it's Christ's vision that recognizes what true love is. So you want to maybe start with that? We can just go into that a little bit and just move on.
Well, as you know, for me, it's all about this allowing feelings to really truly respond to each sentence. So as I read, I wait for the response, because feelings are much slower than the mind is. That's why mind always rushes in, because it's used to jump in. But I read a sentence and I wait until the will, the feeling self, begins to show me what's already in the inheritance. Because what is will? The will is what God gave us. It's already in us. It's already accomplished in there. It's just waiting for the expression. Yeah. And that particular expression comes when the feelings are fully received for what they truly are, by stepping back and letting the feelings lead the way, so they can demonstrate by an extension and expansion what love is. You see, there was a book not long ago out that said, "Teach only love, for that is what you are." But the word teach really means radiate or ooze love, for that is what you are. So teaching really is not teaching as in this world we teach something. Ooze only love means you're it. And if you step back, this love will begin to ooze from you and begins to touch the heart of the others, or reverberate, like it says in here, like every living being has a heart. But if it's not touched or vibrating in its light, yeah, it's just like a dead fish in a chest. Yes. And then as we begin to bring the feelings in, there is the birth of heart. The wholeheartedness is the source of feelings, but it has to have that sustenance from the bottom up, not just from up to down, but from the bottom up. It arises. That's the resurrection, actually, when our feelings begin to rise up and inform us what they truly are. And that's the discovery, where this begins to be just receptive and not rushing in and trying to establish its own curriculum.
Yeah, and I think, when it was saying that, every being has a heart, it's not just talking about the physical heart that beats and pumps blood. This is the deep Christ, the deep heart of the Sufi mystics call. It's that feeling state. It's like that's the connection to the truth of who we are. And so, it also says that maybe we can go into this, and if you have maybe a personal experience, we could share how love is only recognized through its effects.
Well, why don't you start with yours, since it's like freshly out there? I can see it beaming out of your eyes.
Yeah, well, I do have one, and it does speak to this. Love can only be recognized through its effects, and seeing through Christ's vision. The other day, I went to my usual convenience store that I go to, and out front there were the usual people that hang out, usually asking for spare change, or some of them may be homeless, and they're always there, and I know them. So anyway, I went into the store, and then I came out, and all of a sudden I had this strong internal prompting, like my heart was speaking to me, and I was guided to go over to this woman who I knew. She was very familiar. She has a really soft demeanor. So I walked straight up to her, and I looked her straight in the eyes, and then she gazed right back at me. And all of a sudden, I mean, this was the holy instant that Course of Miracles talks about, and also Course of Love. Time stopped, completely stopped in the holy instant. I did not see a homeless person. I did not see someone asking for change, someone destitute. What I saw was someone I had forgotten and now remembered.
Wow.
And my whole being was just flooded with light. And, you know, I could just feel the grace moving inside of me because I felt this lightness. And I passed her a little bit of money. And then she looked at me and there was joy in her face. I could see it. But I know she appreciated the money, but what was more important is that what I recognized and realized, I felt her gratitude for my just making a connection with her.
Right.
It wasn't so much the money, it was just that holy relationship connection that was established. And then I realized how often that I just pass people by. I don't look them in the eyes. I don't acknowledge their presence. And so now I'm more mindful about it. And what her gift to me was that she gave me the opportunity to remember. So it's this beautiful exchange of giving and receiving. And I mean, for that moment, I saw with Christ's vision. It was with the eyes of the heart. And as it said in the first paragraph we read, love is the only pure response. So that was what I wanted to share. So I'm going to give it back to you.
That's a beautiful, because, you know, it's easy between us. You know, we can go like, hey, Lynn, and we are like, we're right in. No? We begin to communicate. We go into dialogue that's beyond words, right? But to find this in a marketplace, it's my decision. Like, what do I want to see? And there's always those two choices. Do I want to see wholeness or heart? You know, every living being has heart. If wherever I go and I see it, this is where I practice. I practice where it's, you know, here is easy, but go to town and ooze, just be yourself and see the love in everyone. It's literally the same line as like, you can only recognize Holy Spirit in yourself by seeing it in the other. Yeah. This is the same. You like start seeing the heart in others, and then boom, it ignites you. You remember God. And then, like it says in here, you know, love cannot be taught, love cannot be learned, but it can be recognized. It says, can you pass love by and not know that it is there? It's just that moment when you don't see that being has a heart. But the minute you remember, you know, remember God, remember that every living being has a heart, and that they can respond to it. And then it begins to happen everywhere. And then it becomes the holy instant, turns into holy constant. Where it's living you. You know, it's, you don't have to even do it because it's happening to you. It's a constant radiance that is actually deeply felt, and that which elevates the body to the elevated self of form. So the actually body begins to reflect it. And body is not real unless this is happening. Body is not incarnated unless it is happening. And the secret to it all is to free up our feeling self, and particularly the feelings that we don't like, but they're only ugly because we made them that way. So when true forgiveness kicks in, we begin to use it more like anything that triggers me in this world, rather than saying, oh, the world is not real, I don't have to be triggered. No. Use what the world triggers in me, and then go like, oh, that brings up this feeling. Oh, I don't have a good relationship to this feeling. Or I need to change my mind about this feeling. I change my mind. The feeling begins to return to its original form. The original cause, which is God. And it begins to radiate the kingdom, and begin to see the kingdom wherever I go. That means God goes with me wherever I go, right?
Yeah, and the feelings are that raw, essence of who we are. It's pure and it's real and it's clear in this moment. And just to be able to go with that, and it affects all relationships. Because if I'm in my thinking mind, I'm drawing from something on the past, and it's not
Yes.
alive and new in this moment, because love is love dependent on memory. It's not, it's something new and alive. And I felt that's what I got when I chose to see differently, because
Yes.
before it was just like passing them by and not acknowledging anything. But then when I made the choice to see differently, it was the birth of the new, it was the resurrection experience. And later on in this chapter 2, it says, what benefit is there to you to just continue to see incorrectly, and what risk is there to seeing anew? Try it. See anew and see what happens, see what the effects are. Watch the miracles flow.
Good, because this is so good what you're saying, and this is where it's very important. Because that comes as like Jesus was a man who recognized the face of Christ in all his brothers, and he remembered God. And so unless I have a brother in there that I don't see as that, I've got a slave somewhere, and I'm slave to that experience. But if I change my mind about everyone, if I see the face of Christ in all my brothers, right? And it is that holy instant where it's not just like, oh, I decided to see the face of Christ in my brother and I'm pulling some kind of image onto them. No, no, no. It's like I return to forever, should I call it? Return to forever, yeah, the eternity. Then I cannot not see that. It's like God goes with me wherever God, this face of Christ goes wherever I go. And it was my choice, yeah. But that is what brings up the memory of God in me. It's a selfish thing because you go like, if I see it in everyone, I will awake.
You're talking about the feelings is what brings it alive for you, right? That's what you're saying. The feelings are what bring the memory of God within you. I feel the love of God within me now.
I feel the love of God within me now. And you got to see it like that. Like, it's not going to be like the love I felt yesterday, because it's always brand new. Like, what is the peace of God? Peace of God is something that's incomparable to what was before. So it's a constant creation. Creation means now it's brand new. See, God just recreated itself into a greater self, right? A new self. It's constantly new. And so did I. But if I'm caught in my past, I can't experience it. So I go, hey God, where is it now? Do you have any update for me? Software update. Boom. I was like, oh my God, this is a brand new experience. And then it becomes a daily bread. That's the daily bread. When you get this fresh bread, not some old dried up piece of toast, but you just get this freshness of sustenance. I'm sustained by the love of God. It's like I'm sustained by the fresh love of God. Yeah. Because it's constantly birthing itself into the newness.
But I was just going to comment, I love what you said about the daily bread. It's fresh baked bread every day. It's not leftovers from yesterday, a burnt toast. The daily bread rises every day. It's new, it's alive, it's fresh, and
nourishing.
That's it. Nourishes the soul.
Nourishing and fulfilling means brings up the full feeling fulfillment. You're completely fulfilled, but there's like desire for nothing else because, well, you're complete.
Yeah.
And then you walk your talk. Instead of talking, you're just walking. It's like, hey guys, how is it going? You having a good day? And we on We don't say, hey, have you read this book? No, she's like, don't tell them about the book. Be the book.
Yeah. Yeah, love, it says, yeah, it also says in chapter 2 that love is not something you do, it's who you are. Yeah.
That's exactly where I need do nothing kicks in.
Oh, yeah.
Because to do nothing, you're still doing something, but you come to a place when there's such deep surrender. You seriously do nothing because it's all done for you. Like they used to say these things like, no, money don't grow on the trees. Well, the abundance does.
Yeah.
Yeah, abundance is like right now, but can you feel it? If you don't feel it,
Mhm.
then you keep searching. But if you feel it, and it says like all expression of love are maximal, but only maximal to the point to which you can actually allow yourself to experience it. And if
Yeah.
your feelings are deadened by constant attack against them, there's no way you can have an experience of it, because there is no, the source of that which provides everything is being killed, has been drowned, it's been imprisoned. Yeah. So we open the door for the feelings to really be able to stay open, because they're more subtle. They just are such a subtle realm. They're vulnerable in some way. So there comes that tenderness comes in. You feel, you don't go rah, rah, but it's more like a tender. It's beautiful. It's just soft and yielding, and it's very feminine. It's like the way of Mary to me. And I think the way of Mary is the way now. I mean, even when we look at it, we have now the way of Mary's, because it takes us into this more tender, more subtle realm of the invisible, yet tangible.
Yeah, I was going to say, another great line too in that workbook lesson that I love is 189. I feel the love of God within me now. There's a powerful line in paragraph 5 that says, you will look upon that which you feel within.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it was, with that woman, when I just, this feeling, this deep inspiration just welled up in my heart, and I followed it. And I was just going to say quickly too, another thing about you saying being done through, the true abundance, you step back and let love or God lead the way. That's been happening for me. I've been having this experience since September, because I'm in the process of moving. And I was like, how am I ever going to get all this done? And it's all just being done through me. I'm not doing anything. There's not been one single block that I've had in getting all this ready, cleaning, going through boxes, taking things to donations, some things being thrown away. And it all just flows. And what happens is this energy comes up inside of me, and I have this super focus, and it's just like I can go hours at a time, and it just feels like minutes have passed.
What I can
and
feel
all of this is done. I look back and like, for hours, how did I do this? I didn't do it. That's just it. I didn't do it. It's all being done through me. Yeah. And that's what else I wanted to share.
You become an oozer rather than a loser.
Yeah. So, yeah, I love too, you brought up, that's Cole's word that he got through the Holy Spirit, fulfillment. Fulfeelment, fulfillment. And yeah, so did you want to say anything else about that? And then I think,
just came to my mind when you were saying that, because I this is how I teach even the kids at school. Everything we do, even in this world, we do to feel good. When you read this book, you want to feel good. You move because you want to have a new place and feel good. You go to yoga because you want to feel good. At the bottom line, this kingdom of heaven is actually nothing but a good feeling that doesn't stop, right? And so I have this little practice that's really good to practice, because after a while, as you feel really good, comes the desire to get rid of it. And you got to be aware when that comes in. So the practice is very simple. It just goes like, can you allow yourself to feel good? And you just say yes. You're not going to go into your mind and think whether yes or not. You just say yes. And as soon as you say yes, you'll have this very subtle feeling of just feeling good. And then you feel it. And then you allow it to feel it, and you allow it to extend. And then you say, can you allow yourself to feel good even more? And you just say yes. And you immediately begins to manifest because you yesing to it, right? And what you will find out that if you do this for a minute or two, you're going to feel so good. It's going to be almost unbearable because the more it extends out of you, and we're not used to this. Yeah, we feel good and then we go, okay, what else can I do to feel good? Rather than just sit and be and feel good and feel good. It's so simple, but it's so powerful. And you just allow it more. And you keep going to the max until you go, wow, this is intense.
And there's nowhere that'll lead you, huh?
You know, do a meditation for an hour or two and see if you can, nothing will disrupt you from just feeling good. You don't have to chase or make time until you make a cup of tea and drink it to feel good. You feel good already. But no one ever taught us just to feel good. Yeah. So that's like almost like it's a little starter motor to begin to connect to the feeling and maintain the feeling. Eventually, you can't even feel bad. And if you could allow yourself to feel bad, yeah, because that's what we're trying to stop. If you're trying to feel bad and allow yourself to feel bad, and you allow yourself to feel bad a bit more, suddenly the bad feeling begins to actually feel good. Why? Because it's been set free to just be what it is. And you realize what appeared as a negative feeling is actually just another feeling that wants to expand and express what it's holding. Once it's fully expressed, it's complete.
Yeah.
So eventually you will have no, because who decides whether it's a good feeling or bad feeling? It's only the mind. Yeah. Feelings don't know about whether it's a good feeling. It's feeling expanding.
Yeah.
So you hear an idea and it expresses. You start focusing on what you don't want, what you're going to get, more of what you don't want.
Yeah.
But hey, what do you want? Above all else. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that too, where you talked about the acceptance. Yeah, the acceptance of every what is arising, and a lot of times, the emotions have come in and judged any of the feelings, and that's connected to thoughts, judgments, and then the emotions. We have reactivity, but underneath that, there's something that wants to rise, to resurrect, And so I love that you brought that in as well.
And as above, so below. You see, whatever the thought it has, the feeling just wants to manifest it for you. But then the manifestation, if it doesn't look good, we push it away and we split ourselves into two camps. The good one, the one that pushes and thinks it's right, and the bad one, which is the feelings. And that's how duality is created. But as soon as you push this feeling self away, you lose ground and the mind kicks in and goes insane. And that's the whole split. Tiny meta idea creeps in here. We reject the feeling of it. We turn ourselves into the camp. We lose heart because the foundation is gone. And we are in projecting illusions. It's so simple. At the end of the day, this is what gets me the most. Like talking about it, almost making it complicated. But at the end of the day, it's like the simplest little thing that just happens on its own. It's an ooze that comes out. I love that idea of the sun and the son of God and the sun in the sky has the same sound. Because what does the sun do? It just shines. And more it shines, more it shines. So it expanding itself through radiance. And so that name, sun, so if you become just like that and you just become an Uza, and you don't even do it. That's the most beautiful thing. The love give of itself when it's real. You don't even have to give love because it extends naturally. That's the natural inheritance. It's already embedded. The extension is already embedded in it. I love that.
Yeah, and that just goes back to the statement is, love is not something you do. It's who you are. It's being who you are. And that's as simple as you can get, really. It's like there's nothing else to say, really. So anyway, we're kind of up on our time, Cole. So if there's any one last minute thing you wanted to share, and then I think we're gonna have to close for now, but who knows, there may be another one soon.
Maybe. Well, all I have to say is just thank you, Lynn. I'm so glad we keep reconnecting and making up these little podcasts together. And here we unite in exquisite dialogue and sense of union that dawns on us as we, in this expression of this honest, what's really there.
Okay, so thank you, Cole. Thank you, everyone. Peace, love, grace, and blessings to all. And we'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.